Let's welcome the national teams of Zanzibar and South Sudan.
Well, temperatures are perfect for a good football game here at the Fufa Technical Center for the CECAFA Under-15 Boys Championship. We're about to see how these two will fare. We've already seen Uganda qualify, and the big question is who will join the Pearl of Africa into the finals. It's Zanzibar up against South Sudan here at the Fufa Technical Center for the CECAFA Under-15 Boys Championship, currently taking East Africa, Africa and the world by storm as the boys under 15 years continue to entertain but also compete for the biggest prize that will be capping this wonderful championship. Let's just go into the anthems of the two teams, and after we will be coming back with the action that will precede all that is coming here at the Fufa Technical Center. Let's get the anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Zanzibar. And now, the national anthem of South Sudan.
Or the two anthems getting us in the mood for this roller coaster game between the two teams that come to this second semi-finals, having merited out of their groups. Zanzibar, of course, topping that Group B, and South Sudan coming second in Group A. But all that will not matter since they have a chance of sharing the turf here at the Fufa Technical Center to give the world what they are made of. As of course the officials smartly dressed in that yellow and black, and will be led by Ntinga Jerison, and of course will be deputized by Ntingiringanya Eli and Ibrahim Musa there as the two officials who will assist. But David Kaitire, all the way from Rwanda, also will be there to ensure that things are flowing into this beautiful fixture that we are about to get. But let's just take a turn to freeze the moment here as Zanzibar smartly dressed in that blue, sky blue t-shirt, and of course that darkish blue shorts, just to give them their colors represented here at the Fufa Technical Center, while South Sudan have chosen to come with that red, signaling danger. That man in your picture, the captain Lakou, already scoring as many as 8 goals in this championship. And of course will be looked at closely in how he will handle himself given the fact that his records already speak for themselves, having done the job in the previous game when they did play against Djibouti, managed to score a handful of 8 goals, as of course the two captains come closer to the referees to freeze the moment in what is anticipated to be another great fixture, given the fact that the two teams are highly scoring. Hassan Idi, one of the names you will definitely point out there in this Zanzibar side, but not forgetting Hussein Mbegu, another player who has been handy in regard to helping them. But Lazarus Laku, that name will send shivers in that Zanzibar defense, as he's one of those who's really been handy in getting them up front. But Felix Marial drops to the bench there for this South Sudan side. I'm sure it's a tactical move from the South Sudanese head coach, as of course things get to normal. Nasser Yusuf Bakit, the man who's responsible for aligning the boys who are currently getting bodies warmed up there in red. South Sudan up against Zanzibar. Of course, it's coastal football meeting interior, or football from the interior, here at the Fufa Technical Center, as we just wait to see what will culminate from this second semi-final. Uganda already qualifying, having managed to win against Tanzania 2-1. Big question here that who will join them. Of course, Zanzibar, having managed to top that Group B, come here with a bit of a chip on their shoulder. Of course, South Sudan will not worry so much, given the fact that they're also now here at this stage, with the referee now holding the peace, and of course will be giving us a go-ahead in regard to starting this game that we are about to see here in the CECAFA Under-15 Boys Championship at the Fufa Technical Center. The cloud cover, temperatures dropping as low as 20-something, but that is perfect condition for a football game. That man will have all cameras on him. Laku, Peter Lazarus George, having scored 8 goals so far, leading the top scorers log, and of course we'll be hoping to add to the tally and stretch that lead as far away as he can definitely do. But Zanzibar work as a unit, so they will come here hoping to also make a use of their team spirit to try and take things in their way. But the technical team there for the Zanzibari sitting ready and hoping to get this game working on their side. So will the South Sudanese team or technical bench be looking, but the referee taking the lead off here as Zanzibar get us underway. Ball already in the final third of South Sudan. You could see that changes already being made, but one of the player getting a clip on his foot of South Sudan, composed enough to try and make retrieve. You could see that Luis Domiano already, well, he was quite a handful when they played against Djibouti, set up a couple of goals. Luis Domiano, the South Sudanese star there, is one of those that the Zanzibaris too should definitely keep eyes on. The South Sudanese coach Nasser Yusuf Bakit in your picture there, trying to send on instructions as early as the first minutes of play. Well, it's going to be a throw, and Jordan Majak on duty for that, is failing to get that ball up and running. Good there from Jordan Majak, who turns the ball in, and the strike is taken, but not enough to cause any upsets, as Mohamed Marishona will continue to take a look at proceedings on the pitch at the moment. And it's going to be Zanzibar who come here as a dark horse, but played so well in the group stages. But Luis Domiano still trying to find ways through. you could see that already some of those balls being delivered. Now it's Zanzibar with that ball trying to open things up, but almost Samuel A failing to get that ball under his proper control and just looking a bit frozen there for a while. Ball intercepted as the men in red continue to look for ways of getting things on the move. And Emmanuel Severino trying to look for the likes of Lazarus at Goan and Domiano exchanging passes. Maybe they did it overtly too much and allowed Zanzibar to regroup, but Jordan Majak will definitely keep that one in and spare time to send a cross in. Oh, there it's straight into the hands of Mahir Amar. Well, it's now Salim Barouk, another player who's really carved out a reputation in regards to his forward-thinking play, but the referee says it's going to be a free kick to the Zanzibari after, well, that man Victor Eli Zaya sent an open boot. Well, Hussein Begu will be looked at closely as Zanzibar try to pile pressure there, but Daniel Lombe, well, is rather going to need to be a little more active tonight, given the sharpness of the Zanzibari. Ball still stuck in the midfield. Adam Shaban there, and you could see that Zanzibar were hoping to get that ball delivered to Salim Abdul Hafida, who made the jump, maybe jumped a little too quick and could have been there, but still again, and a goal there from Zanzibar. Well, just when he was thinking that he was ice frozen, he spares time to strike Zanzibar in front. Salmin Abdul Hafid. That was a superbly taken ball. You can see that they will celebrate with that t-shirt, and just have to see what was written on that. But just looking at that defense splitter and wrong footing the goalkeeper, Zanzibar send shivers in this South Sudan defense, but that was a good strike. Received the ball well, opened up well, and in a tight angle, spared time to channel that ball in. Well, if they hadn't listened to my warnings, I had to tell them that this Zanzibar team is a little razor sharp up front. They scored so many goals, a handful of 7 goals from the group stages. Actually, if not mistaken, could be on 8 goals, and they've been winning each and every of their games. They beat Tanzania to reach this level. South Sudan now have to reach deep if they are going to overturn that result, but the ball just sneaks outside, and the referee says it's going to be Zanzibar's ball. Daniel Lombi making a touch, is already conceded. Just to remember that he kept a clean sheet against his previous opposition. man responsible for the current standing on the scoreline. His coach, Mohamed Marishona, I'm sure is the most delighted of the two coaches. But a very clever ball there from Hassan Idi. Victor Elizaya failing to settle this ball, as Zanzibar happy to collect, and player hounded to the ground. Well, it's going to be a free kick to Zanzibar, and they will be hoping to cause more problems for this South Sudan side, who are just starting to get a taste of coastal football. Long ball up front, good header, but blue shirts about, and it's going to be now Salem Barouk to throw in a long one, which is directed outside quickly by Ajo Lomoro. Well, I must say that goal has disorganized the South Sudanese a little bit. Well, they started so well trying to pick out passes, but after conceding that in the opening minutes, it looks like they are not yet really settled enough to get into the game. You will definitely need a lot of inspiration, and you can see that's the kind of movement you expect from a team's playing in the semi-final there. And it was almost clever play if it had come off from Lazarus Laku, trying to look for Anur Loboro, two players who are currently leading in the South Sudanese side in regard to the top scorers log there. Well, drizzles continue here at the Fufa Technical Center in Jeru. But if you're just joining us, it's Zanzibar in the lead. And that goal scored by shot number 14, Salmin Abdul Hafid. Well, good control there as they look to turn the advantage. Mwinyi Hassan not really featured so much in our picture. Mwinyi Hassan has been turned provider for so many games, especially for this Zanzibar side. Is one of the players who's known for his on-field skills in regard to getting others involved, but Rogers Mulindwa also present. Football attracting lots of big shots, and NRM spokesperson also very much present in the stands to take a look at what's happening. Of course, coming off the back foot of the success of the Pamoja bid, where the three East African countries, Tanzania, Kenya and Uganda, will host the 2027 AFCON. Drizzles continue here, and the CECAFA under 15 boys surely living up to the billing. Number of goals scored. Long throw, looking for red shots. They will take their time to try and find the proper inroad to rip this Zanzibar defense open. That is, they have to also compose themselves to protect their lines, but definitely do have the ammunition as Ngoan goes to the ground. Severino, lovely hold up there from Anur. It's actually Victor Elizaya was trying to get his colleagues involved. Bit of a slip up, but is able to recover as Zanzibar now continue to hang the question mark over the South Sudanese. Adam Shaban, long ball, looking for Salim Barouk, who in turn gets a long ball inside, and Zanzibar, well, almost getting a lucky one there from the edge, and that same man still coming back to haunt. Salmin Abdul almost had read the movement of the ball, but he was a little wide, and his header didn't help that much. Maybe could have headed it in the direction or in the opposite direction of the goalkeeper instead of trying to go for the near post. Maybe could have gotten the South Sudanese defenders to commit. Lovely cross in. Unfortunately for Salim Barouk, there wasn't anyone in blue waiting around that area. Hussein Begu, and manages to win a free kick. Nasser Youssef was still thinking heavy thoughts here as Peter Lazarus George Lakou, not yet heavily involved in proceedings here. He's rather been ghosting up front as Zanzibar still come forward. They will spare time to improvise a good one inside, and the only shot number that was there was the likes of Hassan Mwinyi were properly placed in that 18 yards. Severino, a touch from Hassan Mwinyi, and now we're getting showers in the afternoon here at the Fsfa Technical Center in Jeru, where the action is currently underway between Zanzibar and South Sudan, the second semi-finals. The question still hangs, who will join Uganda? And so far for Zanzibar, they have a foot forward. That goal scored by Salmin Abdul, separating the two sides. Referee says there was handball cited. The free kick will be taken normally. No need for a rush since we are 16 minutes into it. You could see that Zanzibar still leading. Well, Daniel Lombe will just make welcome to that as he's trying to also get Luis Domiano active again. Lovely through pass as Zanzibar now try to find ways of ripping this Red Army open. And that ball will settle for a corner. So it did bounce off Jordan Majak. Daniel Lombe. Another great goalkeeper to watch for the future, Daniel Lombe. And a good ball sent in by Zanzibar, trying to get the better of Daniel Lombe. No one there to tap in. And that ball just going across the face of goal. Experts say that South Sudan not yet finding themselves, and maybe this could help remedy things as they fly forward. A cut back inside, looking for the likes of Ngowan, failing to take advantage, and you could see that he tried to press that ball instead of going for a lethal shot. Sometimes when you find yourself in an unlikely position, well, that's what happens. But Ngowan, knowing the desperacy with which the South Sudan's team is playing with, and you can see him having arguments with Luis Domiano, who's been giving so many of those zero passes, especially around that 18-yard box, and you can see that he's not very happy about that. And you can see Lazarus George with a good squared ball. Zero pass there from Luis Domiano. Failed to be converted by that man Ngowan, who should have gone with a strike instead of just trying to press that ball in. Well, thereby missing a chance. That was a good one there to set him up. Had really confused everyone in that Zanzibar defense. I like the confidence with which the Zanzibari are playing with, and Salem Barouk has been sending in some decent crosses. Salem Barouk, especially him operating on that right-hand side, is one of those who's given them sleepless nights. And Luis Domiano, long ball looking for Lazarus Peter George. Yes, manages to get to him. Message received, Lazarus Peter George exchanging passes with colleagues. A little slothy in the movement there, and not making the right decision in how he could have gotten on the end of that. With Zanzibar smiling about any of those missed chances. They too will spare time to fly forward. Barouk into Mbegu. Well, whatever Mbegu was trying to do there, I'm not myself in the know, but it will be Daniel Lombe to get action restarted. Almost a miscue there if it doesn't land on Luis Domiano, who's knocked down, but referee allows action to continue. Well, finally, the referee presses the pause button, but that was the move where Lazarus Peter George was trying to weave his way inside that box. And you can see that second touch there from Luis Domiano to try and find ways of setting him up, though he was on his wrong foot. And good step overs, weaved himself well inside the areas where he could cause problems, but final delivery or the final product itself. But that man, Luis Domiano, what a player to watch for the future. Very clever, especially in that 18-yard box. Hussein Begu, long ball, but just giving that ball away. Ajo Lomoro, very happy to make welcome, as Anur Luboro also gets onto it. Anur still running, trying to get Samuel Eyi involved, but go on now with a good retrieve. You can see that South Sudan are trying to get their confidence back in these last 5 minutes. They've really tried to get the Zanzibar side on the back foot, but they have a player on the ground, Jordan Majak, who will attract the referee's eye, who quickly summons the doctors to come and extend a medical hand. And it's starting to rain cats and dogs here in Njeru. you could see that showers continue as Jordan Majak continues to receive his treatment. Of course, South Sudan very handy in also getting as many goals as they can to qualify for this next stage, or for this stage. They managed to beat Djibouti 12 goals. That guaranteed them to qualify for the semi-finals ahead of Ethiopia, with whom they picked up point off in the first opening game. Of course, the only game they lost was against Uganda. That was 3-0. So Berino and Lukman Omar getting a yellow card. Discipline also starting to dwindle. Referee will spot that one, sees how it was committed in front of him. Still trying to exchange, and Zanzibar Lazarus Peter George, lovely retrieve. Soberino, long ball. His intention was to find Anur Loburo. Lovely there into the path of Baroque, and what a teasing ball that flies across the face of goal. And there was a shot, blue in colour, that was hoping to get on the end of that ball, and another one threatening to press that heavy button onto the South Sudan side. Soberino, good control. Can he get that ball up front? It's not the best of passes. It's now Zanzibar trying to lean the other way, and you can see that Lukman Omar, another player who's also one of those who's been high scoring for Zanzibar, failing to keep that ball in. Hussein Begu trying to shield well that defense, but the sharpness of the South Sudanese as they try to fly forward, though not yielding any fruit. Go on, doing well to retain possession. And Ajo. Anur also tried to send a return ball to his colleague, but just let that ball slip outside. Lukman Omar, the one now trying to put pressure on the Sudan's defense. Ngoan. Lovely there from South Sudan as they tried to weave their way inside, but this was a little heavy there for Luis Domiano to make the chase. Looking at how Lukman or Lakou is dropping off Luis Domiano and everyone who's operating in that area, just to add on to their creativity, especially in that number 10 role. Lovely there from the South Sudanese midfielder Ajo, sending that ball to Lakou, who doesn't land so well. So given the level of fitness, you can see that he's able to shake it off, and action is now allowed to continue. Baroque opening up, trying to make sure that he uses the absence of the deployments in this right-hand side to try and pile pressure. Go on. Jordan Majak with the long ball. And Lazarus. Back to Lazarus. Peter George. Well, currently leading the top scorers log there. Lazarus Peter George. One of the top talents for the future. Well, he's shown glimpses of leadership and well, good football as well on the pitch. But he's also scored goals. And a touch there being taken as Baruch will quickly get action restarted with a throw in. Didn't really receive that ball well. Ajo Lomoro and Soberino managing to retain possession. Soberino, as Ajo has now had the duties of trying to get that ball into the forward players. Ismail Mansouk, another player we haven't seen so much today in action. Salim Barouk. Long shot straight away to the goalkeeper. And you can see that Adam Shaban trying to test Daniel Lombe's resolve as Lazarus Peter opens up the other way. Still Lazarus Peter creating space to send that one in, but straight away goes into the safety of the goalkeeper as that man Adam Shaban testing the goalkeeper from distance. Almost causing problems, but Soberino will fight for that 50-50. Good energy from the South Sudanese star, and failing to keep that ball on as a change will now be made just when he had tried to test Daniel Lombe. He has been substituted. Adam Shaban being replaced by shot number 3. It is Mohammed Shaban. The two Shabans crossing paths as they come to make their contributions. Discussions continue on the sides, but that won't stop Barouk from sending in one. This continues to rain here at the technical center as Zanzibar 1, South Sudan 0. This goal that was scored earlier on by Salmin Abdul Hafid. Hassan Idi retaining possession. Hassan Idi as Zanzibar now have blue shots flying forward, but referee says there was some high-handedness and the efforts of Victor Elizaya trying to retrieve that ball. Begu getting himself ready to deliver that free kick as we experience centre, but the boys having to play under all sorts of conditions. That's a long one, looking for Hussein Begu. You could see that Saleh, Luis Domiano was almost ready there to try and pick up the scrappings. Zanzibar still enjoy leadership here. That goal separating the two sides. Of course, the big question is who will join Uganda in the finals. Uganda qualified, having scored 2 against Tanzania, who managed only 1. The 2 goals scored by Samuel Muwiru and captain himself, Abdullahi Walusimbi. Of course, Tanzania did manage to pull one back, and Faizo Juma there with a header later on as action was being wound up. But South Sudan do get a free kick. Can they make it work here, as we are 3 minutes or even 4 now past the half-hour mark? Long ball in front, looking for red shots, and yes, connection is made, and South Sudan finally channel in there first to bring this game level. Anor Luboro, well, joining heads with his colleagues to make sure that the men in red are back to level terms. Oh, but that man, Anor, beg your pardon, Loboro, joining heads with Ngoan to give that ball proper and necessary direction. It was a properly delivered ball. You can see Ngoan made the touch and finished off well by Anor Loburo. Well, Zanzibar looking forward to making a reaction the other end. Lazarus Peter George. Severino giving that ball away, and Mbaruk will send a teasing ball inside, still failing to clear, and you could see that Hassan Mwenyi almost picking a free gift here just on the edge. Well, energy levels now starting to show for the South Sudanese. They've been building in confidence ever since they conceded that goal. Of course, they lost a bit of momentum, but it's starting to pick up and it's starting to show. And the fact that they're now back to level terms does put this game in a different eye. It's starting to get more interesting in the CECAFA Under-15 Boys Championship. That was the incident where that man who had scored an early goal, Salmin Abdul, shot number 14, just to confirm. Quite similar shot numbers, him with Hassan Mwenyi, but just to give you a second look at exactly what had happened. You can see the travelling fans away from Zanzibar trying to make their voices heard as they play the role of the 12th player or 12th man. But of course South Sudan managing to pull themselves up, and that goal scored by Anor Loburo, a kind of similar name with Ajo Lomoro. They have to juggle them a little bit. Some of the fans and supporters getting a little cold. well, support comes in handy, and action on the pitch now continues. Well, they throw inside, looking for blue shots. Well, they miss a chance to get onto it as South Sudan try to pile more pressure up front, but Saint Begu dropping deeper to help out matters. Good throw in, no red shot present, which means that Mahir Amor will just have to have an easy pick. Soberino. His intention was to get that ball to Lazarus Peter George, but Barouk, Salim Barouk, again Salim Barouk looking up, trying to whack up some shooting space as Zanzibar fly forward. You can see that Hassan Idi is trying to make sure that he creates a buffer for the players up front. Long ball, but it will not be that which will bother Daniel Lombe. You could see that Salim Abdul was claiming an overhead kick, but referee allowing that to continue, not so much that could cause so much damage. Salim Barouk with a throw in. And, it's going to be a throw in, another one to Zanzibar, who are really activated, especially after conceding that goal. They now try to get themselves inside the game. The ball was intended to get onto Anur Loburo, the man whose goal brings South Sudan to level terms. Salim Barouk will definitely have to send a cross in. He's been doing that all day, and surprise, surprise, he's been accorded so much space to actually do that to Saint Begu. Long ball up front into Barouk, who sends in another one lashing, and they were hoping that Salmin Abdul was there to pick up the scrappings, but Lazarus Peter George will not be allowed a touch on that ball, as it just goes outside. The technical bench of Zanzibar still trying to put brains together, looking for how to get back up front. Lovely there from Ajo, and tries to get Lazarus Peter involved, and very scary there from Anur Loburo, who almost got the better of the two opposite shots there in that 6-yard box. Well, the player is down, and the referee is calling for more help, as of course the medical team making their way to see how they can extend treatment. Well, so far so good for the referee himself, the Tanga Jerison, all the way from Rwanda. It's going to be a corner kick for South Sudan. Can they go into break time with something? Well, that's a question they themselves can answer. Well, I'm sure they will have to try and work out some magic. But, you can see that Ismail Mansouk is able now to get back on his feet. I'm sure at any time he will be allowed to continue, but a corner kick will be delivered as South Sudan hope to take advantage just when we are sliding into the final minutes of the first 45. Ball headed away, still dangling around danger, but you could see that it was quickly hounded away by the men in blue, and they keep that ball in, but a pull, and that surely will not skip the referee's eye, as that man Victor Elizaya for that clumsy play against his colleague on the opposite side. But you could see that Salmin Abdul was doing enough in his power to skip away, but the pressure there being piled by Victor Elizaya was a little too much, and the referee says it will be a yellow card for Victor Elizaya, as a free kick has been given to Zanzibar just when we are just a few seconds on top of the 45 minutes. Just wait to see how many that will be added. Long ball, not as long enough to cause trouble, and Zanzibar still lay siege, but that attempt going to waste. 2 minutes added onto the action here. Zanzibar 1, South Sudan 1. Goals scored at different intervals. Lazarus Peter. Lazarus managing to get that ball to Elizaya, who in turn tries to find Jordan Majak, but finds Samuel Ayi, who's currently operating in such or in that territory. Well, good shooting of the ball there by Ismail Mansouk. You can see that Jordan Majak is been tactically made to drop into central defense. Hussein Bego and Elizaya. Lovely, but Elizaya sending in outside the boot to Ngowan. Soberino into Lazarus Peter George, twisting and turning. That is Ajo Lomoro, and managing to get to Samuel A. Long ball up front, looking for red shots, and they are able there to try and get on the end of that ball, but they didn't. And it looks like the flag was already up as the call was made for offside, and for some signal, a handball. As we approach the final seconds of the 2 minutes that have been added on the action here. There you have the likes of Hassan Idi throwing their bodies on the line to deny colleagues a second touch, but the referee says, well, it's time for break time, and it surely has been an interesting first half. That man Abdul Salmin making sure that Zanzibar get in front in the 5th minute before Anmor Loburo coming through in the 34th minute to take this game half-time 1-1. Zanzibar 1, South Sudan 1. Well, let's take a break. When we come back, it will be the second half. Back for the second half as Zanzibar continue to play against South Sudan, and of course lots of promises there from the first half, and of course we are here for the second half to see how the two teams will come to fulfill. Well, of course you could see that in the first half it was Zanzibar who got that early lead as Salmin Abdul got himself on the score sheet before that goal was cancelled by Anur Loburo in the final minutes of the first half there in the 30-something minute. And of course hopes will be that we find a winner who will join the Ugandan side in the finals, but changes will start to be signalled here from the Zanzibar side as they try to find ways of increasing energy levels and also bring on new ideas that can help take this game in the direction they very much want. Already made a substitute, but the referee, without wasting a minute, gets us underway again for the second half. South Sudan just win a free kick. Ajo Lomoro brought to the ground. Long ball, looking for red shots, and it could see connection made, but ball touches the crossbar. Well, how on earth did they fail to convert that one, South Sudan? Well, it was a good delivery there from Victor Elizaya, and that ball falling on the feet of Ngoan. Just hit the crossbar. Well, from close range should have guided better and maybe given the South Sudanese an early lead in the opening minutes of the second half. Well, beautiful exchange as of course there you could see that Mohamed Nasor coming in the stead of Hassan Mwinyi. Long ranger cannoned into the 18-yard box. Well, there's a bit of disorganization in the Zanzibar defense. You could see the reactions of their goalkeeper telling it all. He's had to make a call out every time that ball is sent into his path. A shout for handball. A shout for a push there from the Zanzibari talisman Salmin Abdul. Elizaya, well, he's rather been very solid, Elizaya, especially playing in the midfield as Mohamed Nasor tries to take one in straight away into